listening to the playback. I be listening to the playback on these live streams, and they be like crazy. You know, I miss my old mic. What's up, Kay? What's good? Where my Oyas at? Where my Oyas at? Where my Scorpios? Scorpio Sun, Scorpio Moon. Where my Sagittarius? Sagittarius Sun, Moon. Female Virgos, they can be Oyas too. But it's really Scorpio and Sagittarius. Those are like the main two. Gemini moons can be Oyas sometimes. Shout out to all the Oyas. If you're a Cancer Sun, Sagittarius moon, you know you are a you are a Oya that used to be known as the Great Mother. If you're like a Cancer Sun, Sagittarius moon, or if you're a Scorpio moon, Cancer Sun, Sagittarius rising. Shout out to all my Oyas. Shout out to my Obananis, my Libras. Shout out to the Libras in the building. So I'm back in my favorite place, with my furry little friend. You know, man, I'm kind of sore, y'all. I'm kind of sore. A lot of things went down. A lot of things went down yesterday. So as y'all know, Hurricane Irma husband Ian came through. Now, I gotta send a special prayer out to to the people who are in Naples. I heard they got hit real hard. Tampa, Kissimmee. It's funny because I swear when I tell you that spirit be guiding me and leading me out of harm's way. Like I told y'all in my last Orisha Astrology, I had a gig, and this was gonna be like a really good paying gig. It was gonna last from the 25th of September all the way until the 29th. So it was gonna be I was gonna set up, and then I was gonna come back to strike, and it was gonna be a nice little check. So I spent all the money I had, and I drove from Miami to Orlando. Once I got to Kissimmee, that's when I got the news that due to the hurricane, my gig got canceled. So I spent a couple nights in Kissimmee, and on, I would say, like the 27th, or like the 26th going into the 27th, I just had this headache. I just had this real bad headache. I started to feel like I was getting sick. Spirit really wanted me to get out of Kissimmee, and it was to the point where the headaches and it just started to get unbearable. As soon as I got on I-4 and headed back to Orlando, all of those things stopped. You know, my head stopped hurting, like everything stopped. So I know there was a spiritual thing. You know, my Scorpio is in my third house, you know, so when my mind or my head starts to go through different things, I know that's Oya trying to communicate with me, with her, especially after I did that OPOT. So it's funny. Starbucks ended up closing up early while I was doing my on point Orisha Tarot. And so I had to finish it outside. I had to finish editing it and all that stuff outside. Um, and it started to rain. It started to sprinkle and rain. And so this was around the time. Um, and I looked up at the sky and I said, "Oh yeah, not yet." People. And it stopped sprinkling. Like, it stopped sprinkling. Um, but as soon as I got back in my truck, after I posted that video, it started coming down. It started coming down. What up, Satchel? Be safe out there, bro, please. We get floods and hurricanes in Houston a lot, so I know how rough. Yo, it's crazy. And for me, um, for me, it kind of messed me up because, now I'm out of work, you know. So I definitely appreciate the well wishes when I did that post yesterday. Um, so I was able to get everything I needed done. I was able to shower. I was able to get some food. I was able to get a lot of things done before the hurricane actually hit. And it's funny because low key, I've been preparing for this without even knowing it. And low key, I've been giving y'all warnings about different things, really without me even knowing it. Like that whole 6-day series that I did, it spoke volumes. I was talking about different things going on in the ocean, different things going on in the sea, and all of that. I told y'all about the dream I had when I woke up and it was a huge storm outside. That actually ended up happening for real. A lot of things that I've been saying in previous videos is starting to come to fruition. Rick Adamus strikes again. Shout out to the Baron, because I want to highlight the Baron. He did a live stream yesterday, and he was talking about how, and it's funny because I had this same thought. I was looking at the path that this hurricane was going, and I was looking at certain things, and something in my spirit was like, yo, I didn't do this. And the Baron, he just took the words out of my mouth. He was like, yo, like this hurricane, it doesn't feel like something that nature did. The way that it moved and stuff like that, it just didn't feel right. Something about it didn't feel right. And it's funny because I was going through it yesterday, but the Baron, he was able to issue out a warning. He was able to issue out a warning about to the spiritualist and stuff like that. It's funny because last night, now I want y'all to tell me in the chat, even the people who wasn't in Florida, even the people who are not in Florida, y'all tell me last night if energetically, like, you was on 10, like your spiritual sensitivity was on 10 last night. What's up, Jarrell King? Yeah. I gave myself a reading, like before everything went down. I gave myself a reading, and 3 cards came out. The Ogun card came out, face up. So that's mind over matter. That I'm protected. The Karma upright card came out, and then the Ace of Air came out, which is the dove bird. So pretty much, if you heeded the message, and you did what spiritually you knew you were supposed to do, you were already protected. You were already safe. I was in an area where it was raining real hard. It was windy, but if I wouldn't have listened to spirit, the places that I was at first, they're all flooded now. You know, all the places that I was at first, they're all flooded. So I'm just glad that I listened to Spirit. You know, I'm glad that you know, that I'm in an area to where you know, things are pretty cool now. The power is out. The power is out in a few of these apartments and stuff. And I remember going through that when Hurricane Irma hit. The place that I was staying at, the power ended up going out, and I had to survive through that. Now, I don't know if y'all remember, but my first encounter with Oya was actually during Hurricane Irma. I did this thing where I forgot exactly what I did. I think I lit some candles and I lit some special type of incense. I think it was like some dragon's blood or something like that. And I summoned for Oya to come through and protect me during the storm. And when I woke up, there was a scratch. There was this big scratch on my arm in the shape of a thunderbolt with some dots around it. You know, I ended up scratching myself in my sleep, and when I woke up, the scratches were in the shape of a thunderbolt with some dots around it. You know, and so I got up because I'm like, yo, like this is crazy. How did I do this in my sleep? So I woke up and I looked up what Oya Bebe was, and it was a thunderbolt with some stars around it. So I'm like, okay, so this is Oya. Oya, you know, she's the type of goddess to where, you know, she got that, you know, I can show you better than I can tell you type of energy. So a lot of times when you're doing work, when you're doing spiritual work with Oya, expect for things to happen in the physical. Expect for things to happen in the physical, very distinguishable thing, non-distinguishable, you know, things to happen in the physical, and that'll let you know. That'll let you know that you know that whatever you did, you know, with Oya, it went through. So it was something that the Baron said. And this is where I got the title of my live stream. You know, what's done in the dark, the Yansa effect. Now I spelled it a certain way. I said Yansa, but I really meant Yansa. You know, effect. Because it's funny. It's like once you understand the pattern that these soulless beings do, to try to get people off their trail. Once you understand, because they don't have any new tricks. You know, there was this gospel song said the devil don't got new tricks. He just got new faces. You know, so every time a whole bunch of meaningless bullshit type of topics ends up on social media to where everybody and their mama is talking about it, I know that, you know, this is the soulless beings trying to, you know, put some distractions in people's way to keep them from digging deep about what's going on around the world, you know. And it was just so blatant. It was so blatant. I'm like, yo, like, why is everybody talking about this trivial stuff, you know? And I'm glad that I have certain spiritual YouTubers and stuff like that I watch. Shout out to Dolo the Pilot Man. Shout out to Rod Hayes. You know, shout out to Baron. You know, there's a few spiritual YouTubers, Zero Manifested, shout out to her, that I watch, and I know when I tune into their program, you know, when I tune into their stuff, you know, they're gonna be talking some sense. So the Baron, in his live stream, he was talking about that he had a dream to where Said, don't tell me you're talking about what I think you're talking about. I don't know. I don't know what you think I'm gonna talk about. But so yeah, the Baron, he was talking about he had a dream, and there was this huge creature, Leviathan creature. Now, in my videos, I told y'all who that creature was. You know, now I didn't know the name. You know, I didn't know the correct name, the politically correct name. So I just called her Ursula. You know, everything that you see these wizards and warlocks of Hollywood do is for a reason. You know, when you see a lot of trauma, and a lot of ridicule and, you know, things like that, you know, coming from the airwaves to make people react in a certain way. I told y'all that, you know, this is a live feed. You know, I told y'all that we have beings in high places that feed off of that energy. It's a live feed. You know, so, you know, the whole thing with the Little Mermaid, and now, you know, the Baron is talking about this huge, you know, Ursula like monster type of entity that's being hidden, you know, that's being moved around under our noses, you know, and they had to create a man-made storm in order to keep us off of his trail, you know. And he was saying something about, you know, while this storm is going on, to look in the sky and see what you see. And I took heed to that. You know, the Baron is my brother. And when I say the Baron, I don't mean the Baron YouTuber. I mean the spirit, the Baron. You know, that's I call him the big homie. You know, I've actually went, you know, astrally and met the Baron. You know, so when a messenger of him, when a messenger or someone who's a representative of him tells me something, you know, I'm gonna listen. You know, because just like how Papa Legba can't tell a lie, just like how the baby Eshu is too innocent to lie, the Baron, you know, lying is beneath him. You know, so why would he lie? You know, and just like I thought, when I looked up in the sky, I was seeing a bunch of blue lights. I was seeing a bunch of green lights, a bunch of blue lights. And also spiritually, like my whole body, like that's why I'm kind of sore right now, because my whole body was sensitive. You know, like my whole body, like my from the tips of my toes was like all sensitive. Like my head felt like you know, like on Spider-Man when his spidey senses tingle. It's like I woke up at like 3 in the morning. You know, y'all know what 3 in the morning is. And it was like my head was like vibrating. It felt like Spider-Man, you know, when the spidey senses are tingling. You know, and I kept hearing my higher self tell me like, yo, you gotta root yourself. Like you gotta get rooted. You know, you gotta get rooted. You know, cause I'm like, yo, like what's going on? Like I'm tossing and turning. You know, it's already storming. You know, it's already storming. The wind is howling. All of this stuff. I'm seeing these blue lights and these green lights. You know, it's like I'm feeling these different waves. You know, sensitivity waves and stuff like that. Like my whole like right arm is sore. I feel like I've been in a fight. I feel like I've been in a fight. Like my whole right arm is sore in certain places or whatever. So it's, you know, it took me a while because I was sleepy. I just wanted it to go away, but it didn't go away. So I finally got up. You know, I got these wireless Bluetooth headphones. You know, it has 7 hours left on them. So I got this track to some of my soul family. you know, who's had problems with insomnia, you know, who has problems with sleeping, to some of my soul family who has problems meditating. I created this track a few years ago, and I called it Heaven. And what I did was I took some different frequencies and some different ohm sounds, and I put it together, and I called it Heaven, because when I'm talking and I'm um, when I'm listening to it, it feels like you're in heaven. You know, that's why I call it Heaven. So I got this Heaven playing, and something told me to tune it, because I got this app on my phone where I can tune it to a certain frequency. Hold on. Yo, hey, are you, are you selling slices? Oh. So, um, so I got this Heaven playing. Something told me to tune it to 101. So I tuned it to 1.1.01, and it was like, as soon as I closed my eyes and I listened to this, you know, I had this Heaven playing. As soon as I closed my eyes, I was gone. I was gone. You know, um, it was, I forgot what cartoon this was. I forgot what cartoon this was, where it's like a photo album, and it's like each photo album got a different type of memory, got a different type of I think this is like a different, maybe a different lifetime, or a different memory, or something like that. um and it was like the pages were turning, and I would jump into the page, and I would end up in that life, you know, where it's me, but it's me in a different situation, it's me in a different setting. You know, none of these things happened in my real life, you know. So I'm jumping on these waves. I'm going into these different alternate lifetimes and stuff like that. One lifetime I was with my homie, like we went to this party, like all of this stuff. And the thing about it was, you know, um even though I got these headphones on, you know, even though I got my headphones on, I got this playing. If something happened outside, it still woke me up. So it was like I was astrally going through these different realms. Like, I can't really explain it. It was like I was going into these different realms astrally, and then something would happen in this world, where the storm would, you know, a branch would hit my window, or something like that would happen, and I would abruptly wake up. You know, and they say, you know, when you're doing this type of work, you don't need to abruptly wake up, you know, because, you know, whatever's going on in that dream, you know, some of the effects um might end up, you know, uh, um, hindering you or hurting you or whatever, in your regular life, you know. And it was like I would wake up, I would go back to sleep, and it got to the point where I was doing it so much last night. I was doing it so much that I ended up going to sleep, and I woke up and I was at this theater. You know, this was a theater. This was like a theater from the ancient times. You know, the ancient times where you had like this huge coliseum, and there would be like a play. There would be like a play that's happening. You know, and I seen like these people. They was dressed up in these costumes, and they called it a theater. You know, so I'm lucid now. I'm lucid now. So I'm like, okay, hold up. So I'm in a theater. So I'm lucid. So let me look around. Let me look around and see, can I see, you know, anything that's going on. You know, because I don't want to lose this. I don't want to lose this dream or whatever. So I'm in this theater, and it was like before I would wake up, this is funny, like before I would wake up, like everything in the dream seemed like a hologram, like it was a augmented reality, you know. And then I would wake back up in my body, and I'd be like, dang, let me try to go to sleep again. Literally every single time I close my eyes and I got this plan, I'm somewhere else. I'm doing something else. I'm somewhere else. I'm doing something else. The last dream that I remember, because this was like right before the sun came up. I had this dream where it was me, somebody that I used to do music with, and they friend. So it's this song that I've been really trying to find a female singer. So I got my laptop and I'm like, yo, let's try to get this to work. She sung it. It was dope. So we was about to go. The girl, she knew somebody that had a studio or whatever. So she knew somebody that had a studio, and we was about to pack up and go over there. So all of a sudden, the friend ran outside. The friend ran outside because she was like, yo, my my homeboy is getting jumped or whatever. So I look outside and I see these Chinese guys. These were like some Asian guys in suits, and they was jumping one of her friends, and I think this guy, he was like a conscious type of guy, So they was jumping him, and then I see her running, trying to help her friend. They ended up, this was weird. They ended up throwing him on like a bus. So now she's getting on the bus, and then I see this other guy. He's running up and he's trying to snuff her from behind. So I'm like, yo. So now I'm running down the steps. I'm running. I hop on the bus right before the bus take off. I see the other dude. He got some type of stick. Some type of stick in his hand. Like he got some type of weapon in his hand, and he's trying to hit her. So I grabbed him. I grabbed his hand. I grabbed his hand so he won't try to interfere with my friend. So while all this is going on, like he's swinging this weapon, he hit me in my arm. I'm wrestling him. I'm wrestling, trying to wrestle the weapon out of him, and I ended up hurting my wrist or whatever. And then he started looking at me like, yo, why are you getting in the middle of this? And I'm like, yo, like, why are you trying to, what is y'all doing? Like, what's going on? So while that was going on, I abruptly woke up again. So this time when I abruptly woke up, I was sore, because, when you're going through this type of stuff, you're not supposed to abruptly wake up. So now the pain that I had in the dream, now I wake up, the top of my arm is sore. Now this is the thing, I don't got no marks. I don't got no kind of marks on my arm or nothing like that. It's just sore. Like I really feel like I've been in a fight, like for real, So same thing ended up happening again. I went to sleep. This time I end up at a Walmart. So I'm at a Walmart, but I'm at a Walmart in Memphis now, and a lot of my homeboys that I haven't seen since I've been in Memphis, they ended up, they was all there, and it was kind of like a reunion. My homegirl Nina was there, my homegirl Shanice was there, a lot of my homeboys that I used to rap with, and we was talking about possibly doing a collab, and I was like, oh, okay, cool. So I'm reaching in my phone, trying to get some beats or whatever, and then I end up abruptly waking up again. I'm like, shit. I'm like, damn, like I wanted to stay in that dream, y'all. So the last dream that I had, because I ended up going back to sleep again. Like this happened the whole night, the whole night. And I want to get y'all's I want to get y'all's commentary on, did this happen to y'all? Like, do y'all have these fits to where, because this is the first time that this ever happened to me like this, where like literally as soon as I went to sleep, I was somewhere else. Like it ain't never happened this fast before. It was like whatever's going on in whatever they doing is like they're messing with time, space, or something. I don't know. Maybe y'all can tell me what's up. So the last dream I had, this was like a continuation of the dream that I had in my on point Orisha tarot. So in this dream, I was in a different type of college. I was in like a college, and I was in math class. I was at a college that I've never been to before. The layout of this college was weird. Like this was a totally different reality. So you know how they do in college. Your first week of college or whatever. In math class, you have a test. Now this actually did happen at MTSU, but it didn't quite happen like this. So you have this test to where it's kind of like a refresher to see what all things that you still remember from high school, and then however you do on this test. Like if you do good on this test, then you can start learning the college type of stuff. If you do bad on the test, then you got to take like some remedial work to kind of get you up to speed or whatever. So I'm taking this test, and the test was easy as hell. Like the first page was like timetables, like 58 times 85. You can use your calculator, all that type of stuff. So it was super easy. Like I thought I aced that test. So I ended up turning my paper in, and so the teacher, he was, giving all the grades and stuff. He'll say your name and the grade. It was like so and so 65, Ricky Freeman, and I'm like, oh shit, what? He's like, Ricky Freeman 50. I'm like, 50? I'm like, what? I know I aced that. So he gave me my paper back, and it was like 2 sheets. It was like 2 sheets of paper. And what I forgot to do, this was stupid, I forgot to look at the back. It was a front and back. So, the 2 pages that I did in the front, I only missed like 1 or 2 questions. I only missed like 1 or 2 questions on the 2 pages that I did do, but there was 2 pages on the back of those that I was going so fast, I was so confident I was going so fast that I literally forgot to turn the pages around and and look on the back. So I asked the teacher, I'm like, yo, can I please take this over? Like, can I please take this over? So he said, yeah. So he gave me another test. So the drawback was, while everybody else went to their other class, I had to stay and finish my test. So I'm now I'm kind of like in a separate desk in the back of the class, while the other students came in from the class that was ahead of mine or whatever. So while I'm finishing my test, I wake up again. And the reason why I woke up again was because my homeboy Ty hit me up. I haven't heard from him in like 2.5 weeks. And he was sick or whatever, and he hit me up, let me know that he was fine. He's his phone was off and all of that type of stuff. So that was my crazy hurricane story. That was my crazy story. Now a lot of Scorpio things, because as we know right now, the sun is in Libra. Let me go ahead and do this. Go ahead and do this for y'all right quick, so we can get right to it. Wait a minute. There. Okay. All right. So y'all should be able to see that. Hold up. Hold on. Let me fix this. There we go. All right. So as y'all can see, let me go ahead and refresh it, see has anything changed. So as you can see, the sun is in Libra and it's over the 6th house. The 6th house is in Virgo, and the moon is in Scorpio in the 7th house. And the 7th house, is in Scorpio. Have a good night. So, as I said, there's a lot of things that's going on in this world. There's a lot of things that's going on in this world, and we've been in the dark about it for a long time. There's a lot of things that's going on in this world, and we've been in the dark about it for a long time. Libra is the lawyer, you know. For my spiritualists out here, you know, y'all should have been getting some real powerful messages within these past few days, because for the people who are tapped in, you know, for the people who are tapped in, you know, y'all should have been getting some messages, you know, about some things, you know, about the things that's going on. You know, after last night, I'm definitely gonna have to tap in even more, you know, so I can see what that book was like there. In the Bible, it talks about the book of life. In the Bible, it talks about the book of life, and now in my you know, life, I think I know what the book of life look like. You know, it's literally a book with a bunch of images, in the book, and these images represent different lifetimes. You know, different lifetimes. It represent different different key memories in those lifetimes and things like that. And what it's seeming like when you go into the dream world, now, you know, I know, you know, some of us, we may not be able to see this deeply in this, but I feel like when we go into the dream world, we unknowingly hop into one of these memories. We hop into one of these memories of these past lives or alternate lives or whatever, you know. And it's like a reflection, you know. It's like a reflection with certain key things that are different. um what I'm thinking is this system of soulless beings is trying to recreate this in this life, you know. And the way it looks, the way this starts to look in the world that we live in, we call these things the Mandela effect. How many of y'all heard about the Mandela effect? You know, that's what I truly think. um I feel like this Hollywood, this industry has always been a trap. You know, I really feel like this. I really feel like it's been a trap. There's certain what's up, man? There's certain gods and goddesses who was really meant to come here to change different things in the world, and so that they won't be able to know who they are. Um, so they won't be able to know who they are. So they can do this. They put these artists. They put them in Hollywood. You know, to suck away their essence. You know, and then once they finally kind of get to a point where they kind of wake up a little bit and see what's going on, if the J. Cole curse don't get them, you know, they just end up getting them on up out of here. You know, and they got you know, insurance policies. They got different policies to you know, so that even though they gotta, you know, get them on up out of here, they're not losing money. You know, this is it's a real dirty game. You know, so the reason why I really think this, number one, this has a lot to do with Coolio death. You know, Ashe to Coolio. I don't know what's going on with that situation. If he really passed, or if a version of him has passed, you know, and he's just transformed into you know, something that is unrecognizable, that we'll never recognize him again in this world, you know. With Libra, you know, with Scorpio, with this Scorpio moon being in the 7th house, you know, a lot of these partnerships, a lot of these different different relationships, and these different partnerships and legal matters, and you know, all of these other things that the 7th house represents. Let me pull it up. So the 7th house represents partnerships, marriage, one-to-one relations, alliances, or conflicts with others, or legal matters. There's a lot of manipulation. There's a lot of hidden things. There's a lot of dark things with different alliances and different legal matters. You know, different partnerships and stuff like that. That's had a lot to do with the way things work, which is Virgo, which is Libra in the 6th house. Certain things, things that work. There's some dark things that's going on, and you know, things, you know, they can, these soulless beings, they can try to knock off as many people as they want to, but it's gonna come to the light. You know, that's why I named this what's gonna come to the dark. What's done in the dark is gonna come to the light. You know, see when Oya got Obanani out the paint, You know, when Oya got Obanani out the paint, and she ended up going to the underworld, you know, Oya, she thought she won. You know, she thought she won. She thought that the battle was won, and she's finally gonna get Shango all to herself. You know, but one if the Pataki about Oya and Obanani and Shango, if that didn't teach you nothing else, it should teach you that at the end of the day, everybody has a place. You know, everybody has a place, and this is your rightful place. Everybody has a rightful place. You know, no matter how much you try, you'll never be able to put a circle in a square peg and it fits exactly as if it was a circle. You know, it's just not gonna work no matter what you try to do. And in a way, you can kind of equate that to the way things are now. You know, there's a lot of negativity. You know, there's a lot of sadness in the world. There's a lot of people feeling like it's all over, especially with relationships, with partners, with certain legal matters. You know, dang, that's that's huge. But yeah, you know, but at the end of the day, that's not the case. When it comes to us melanated people, we've always been able to transform and turn our situations around. You know, and when you look at the last interviews that Coolio did, they were very telling. And before they take those interviews down, it would behoove y'all to watch those interviews on Coolio YouTube channel before they take them down. You know, because the same thing that Coolio was dealing with in the industry, you know, way back when he was on, it's the same thing that's going on with a lot of these artists today. And you wonder why music is going a certain direction. You know, you wonder why a lot of these artists, either they mentally going crazy, or they just end up conforming. You know, it's a reason why. What's up, Mia? So I want to bring y'all's attention to you know, while we're on this subject of Coolio. So remember, everybody knows that Coolio had this song called Gangsta's Paradise. You know, and I was gonna break that down, and I still might, but then something was like, yo, take it back to the roots. Something was like take it back to the roots. You know, take it back to the beginning. Because if y'all don't know about this, Gangsta's Paradise was actually a sample of a song that Stevie Wonder made called Pastime Paradise. You know, how many of y'all knew that? How many of y'all knew that the Gangsta's Paradise was actually a rendition? It was like a rendition of Stevie Wonder's song called The Pastime Paradise. And when you listen to the hook of Stevie Wonder's song, it sounds just like you know, Coolio's song. You know, they've been spending most their lives living in the pastime paradise. You know, sure was. Now, what is pastime? You know, let's break this down. What is a pastime paradise? You know, yeah. his song was a sample of Stevie Wonder's song called "The Pastime Paradise." You know, so pastime means an activity that someone does regularly for enjoyment rather than work. It is a hobby. You know, there's a word for that. I think it's called hedonism. That isn't it called hedonism? Let me see. HEDONISM. What is hedonism? A theory that pleasure is the highest good and proper aim of human life. Yeah. So if all they want to do is to spend most of their life living in a pastime paradise, this is a song talking about hedonism. Someone that feels, that lives their life chasing pleasure. Pleasure is the highest good and proper aim for human life. Now, we gotta think about this in a Scorpio type of way, because pleasure for a child, an innocent child, it might be, him playing with his favorite ball, or it might be him, eating an ice cream cone. It might be him, playing with his friends, or something like that. But in a Scorpio type of way, in a traumatic world that we live in, when we think of pastimes in that sense, in a evil, effed up world where people's innocence are taken away from them, before they can learn how important it is to be in your innocence. Now, this is where that pleasure, that hedonism, that pastime can start to have a real sadistic type of meaning to it. Real sadistic. You a man. You a man, and you've been looked at as a sex symbol since you was a child. Because you was a star. You a child star. Once you turn into a teenager, you didn't mess with some of the baddest chicks. You a teenager, knocking down 20-year-olds and 25-year-olds and all of this stuff. Because that pleasure, you've gotten that type of pleasure since you was young, and you wasn't properly briefed on what this is that you're doing and all of this type of stuff. So you're chasing pleasure, and then you get to like 25, 30, that same type of sex, that same old stuff, it's not pleasurable anymore because you've had too much of it. So now, you start going on this hedonism journey, on this pastime paradise journey, and you start dibble dabbling in other type of things, because now it's to the point where you just want to feel alive. You just want to feel something. You're not taught that your innocence, and all those type of things should be the main focus. So now you get into Greek culture, and what y'all know what that is. When they say you want to go Greek, you know what that means. You start dibble dabbling in Greek culture. You start dibble dabbling in other type of, so that you can kind of feel that same pleasure. Some people they do this with drugs. You know, it's sometimes it start off as, you know, a little weed or whatever, a little weed, you know, a little, you know, then it gets to the point, you know, they get around some friends like with DMX situation, you know, his friend spiked the blunt with some crack. So now, you know, that weed is not pleasurable like it once was. Now you're craving something different. Now you're craving that crack, you know? And you know what they say, you always chasing that first high, you know? And if you don't got no type of morals, you know, no type of standards, you know, none of that type of stuff, you know, it's easy for you to go off on the deep end with this stuff, you know? So y'all might think I'm reaching, you know, y'all might think I'm reaching, so I got receipts. I learned that from Tariq Nasheed, you know, always have receipts. So I can't pull this up on the screen, but y'all can pull this up on your own. The lyrics, let's listen to these lyrics to the Pastime Paradise, you know, because at the end of the day, Coolio, when we look at Coolio natal chart, Coolio is he's a Leo sun, you know, a male Shango, a Leo sun, but he's also a Sagittarius moon, you know, and he's a 24-degree Sagittarius moon. So that means that, you know, he done been here a few times, you know, so he understands what certain experiences lead to. You know, he understands this on a deep level, you know. He understands what these different experiences, these different experiences that you can go through when you're associating, you know, because Leo is in his 11th house. So Coolio, he understood on a deep wisdom type of level what happens when you associate Leo in the 11th house, when you associate with certain things, and you're chasing. Let's look at what the 5th house represents: recreation, procreation, entertainment, pleasures, romance, play. You know, I'm trying to give y'all a glimpse into Coolio's mind and his heart, you know, so you can understand the things that he was thinking about in his mind, and the things that he was feeling in his heart while he was making this song about the gangster's paradise, you know. And then Venus and Leo in the 11th house, you know, when you got this egotistical, chasing pleasure, hedonistic type of mind, and this is where your Venus is at, this is where your love is at, you know. If you don't got no type of wisdom, and you don't got the right type of guidance, you're not, and you're trying to associate with the next pleasurable thing, you know, it gets to the point where, you know, because with him, his Saturn is in Aquarius in the 5th house. So you start to learn the hard reality. You start to learn real quick the hard reality of making unintelligent decisions, you know, because his 5th house is in Aquarius. So you start to learn a hard reality of what happens when you make unintelligent decisions in regards to creativity, recreation, procreation, entertainment, you know, pleasures, romance, children, play. Now we know that the 11th house talks about creative endeavors, friendships, involvement in groups or clubs, you know. Now Coolio, he talked about how you know, he was at a point in his life where he felt like that he felt like that he should have been a part of the Illuminati. He felt like that, that he did everything that that someone could do, that would be someone that would be I guess at a certain level to where they would be looking at his direction. But see, since he had a soul, Sagittarius, since he had this divine Obatala type of soul that's not gonna budge when it comes to doing the things that's right, certain things that they wanted him to do, he just wasn't down for it. And at the end of the day, that's what cost him a lot of things. That's what put a target on his back. So I just want to show y'all how deep this is, because with this fortune in Aquarius in the fifth house for him, this is what made Coolio a fiery, mystic, and creative character endowed with strong persuasion powers and a contagious enthusiasm. The powers. This is what the powers that be, loved about Coolio. If Coolio was, if he was dumb, if he was a dumb person that just wanted money and fame, they really could have used someone like Coolio to push their agenda. So, but see, this is the reason why, Coolio. This is the reason why Coolio started to be very, very dangerous in a way, because he started coming out and he started talking about certain things and he started saying certain stuff, that was kind of on their radar, and they're like, yo man, you need to stop, you need to cut it out. But at the end of the day, this was a part of his life path. Success can be achieved in philosophy or occultism, as well as in all careers involving iron and fire. Very important. We know that iron deals with Ogun, fire deals with Shango. So if Coolio was on the spiritual path, on the conscious path, he could have used his message to immobilize the Oguns and the Shangos of the world. If he would have kept on making songs like Gangsta's Paradise, and he would have kept on getting famous and for preaching that message, and the powers that be didn't mess with him at all, he would have swayed a lot of things that was going on in the world, just by him being who he was. Certain other Sagittariuses in the industry, certain other Aries moons in the industry wouldn't have been able to they wouldn't have been able to have the fame that they did for pushing certain stereotypes, had Coolio been able to fully do what his life path entailed. Very important. This is the reason why I really push and I really teach about getting to know your natal chart. This is extremely important. This we in 2022. You shouldn't be around here not knowing who you are. Not knowing your natal chart. At least that. You shouldn't be around here. And you got all of these people. Like me, like Dolo, like Hood Mystic. Like Melanie. And others. You shouldn't be around here like Tori Indigo. You shouldn't be around here not knowing how to decipher your natal chart. Because this stuff is deep. This is real deep. You shouldn't be around here not knowing your natal chart. It is necessary to exercise analytical thinking in order to avoid people who prefer superficial pleasures to work and who exert a negative influence. Let me say that again. Let me say that again. I don't think y'all heard that. For Coolio, it was necessary for him to exercise analytical thinking in order for him to have avoided people who prefer superficial pleasures. We know who the powers that be are in the music industry that prefer you to sing and rap and do things to glorify superficial pleasures. You know, someone who wants you to exert a negative influence. See, this was, at the end of the day, this was what Coolio was fighting against. And it wasn't just Coolio. It was Immortal Technique. You know, it was Dead Prez. You know, there was a few you know, like X Clan, you know, Poor Righteous Teachers. You know, y'all can put some more in the chat. You know, there was a lot of artists when Coolio came out with Gangsta's Paradise, who was trying to fight this, you know. But you know, like I said, the more we as melanated people lost control of our record labels, we lost control of our independent labels, our independent radio stations, our independent TV shows, you know, things like that. You know, the more we started to sell those things and sell out those things, you know, disorder that wants people to prefer superficial pleasures and exert a negative influence, you know, you can make a lot of money doing that. So, you know, this is why me personally, I can't get behind DJ Academics talking about a lot of the pioneers of hip hop are broke and dusty. You know, a lot of the pioneers of hip hop who are broke and dusty are the ones who decided that they wanted to stay original to their soul and they didn't want to conform and sell out. Those are the ones who now are broke and dusty. I hate to say it. You know, the ones that you see that are broke and dusty, and you know, they was teaching a positive message. Those are the ones that didn't want to conform. The ones that you see that are still famous, it's because, you know, they had to in some way, shape, form, or fashion, they had to conform and play the game a little bit. You know, some people, you know, you playing the game a little bit, you know, it don't hit you. You know, some people, they want to stay 100% down with the cause. But look where they get you in this world. Look where they get you. You know, so some people, some rappers, and you know, some people, they decided that they was gonna play the game a little bit, you know, and then once they kind of got in a little bit, then they was like, all right, I'm gonna add some little consciousness here and there to kind of show people that, you know, I'm still down with y'all, but I can't do what I used to do, simply because if I do that, then you won't hear me at all. So this, my friends, this is called dumbing down. You know, this is called dumbing it down. This is what Lupe was talking about, dumb it down. Jay-Z, he made a song where he said I had to dumb it down for the audience. You know, I even think Kanye West came out with a song where he said he had to dumb it down. You know, so that was the trade-off. Either you dumbed it down and you know, you made a bunch of pop hits and stuff like that, and then when people listen to your album, you know, you had a couple consciousness songs here and there, like Kendrick Lamar did, you know, or you know, you did the J. Cole curse, you know, where you made a whole bunch of music glorifying, you know, dumb shit really, and then you had a moment, you know, in your third or fourth album or whatever, you know, where you just got all this consciousness and you want to change the world and you want to do all this stuff, you know, but you're still in the industry. You still under contract. So it's like, yeah, I want to be conscious. I want to be with y'all, but I really can't, because I'm under this record deal. Like I'm under this, that's a J. Cole curse. What I want to talk about today, before I get into breaking down the pastime paradise, what I want to talk about today is the Beyonce effect, the Yansa effect. So a lot of our women today, and a lot of our this really affected the women, but there are some little things that that happened with us as men too, but it was more of forced. It was kind of like forced out of us, So when you think about Beyonce, what do you think? When you think about Beyonce in in the 90s, in the early 2000s, what you think about Beyonce? She was, I guess you could say, female empowerment. I'm a survivor. When I was young, the only song that I kind of liked from Beyonce or Destiny's Child was "I'm a Survivor." Now we all know. Hold on. Now we all know who the Destiny's Child really was. Beyonce was always the Destiny's Child. She was always the one. It really had nothing to do with Kelly Rowland and Michelle and Latavia and Latoya Lucky. It was always about Beyonce the whole time. She was always the Destiny's Child. Now, shout out to Latoya Lucky, because I think she was able to get more stardom outside of Destiny's Child than any of the other members. Y'all correct me if I'm wrong in the chat. Also, I'm over here post hurricane, going through it. Make sure y'all donate to a brother while I'm over here giving y'all this. Make sure y'all donate. The pinned comment is on the top. Support. So, Virgo, Scorpio moon. Beyonce was able to put a lot of things under y'all nose in a cloak of innocence. See, it's a difference between Beyonce and Michael Jackson. It's a difference. I don't know why they like to compare them to, but there's a difference between Beyonce and Michael Jackson. Low key, Beyonce, she never really changed. She always talked about the same, I don't even want to say demonic, the same like low vibrational agenda type of things. She always talked about low vibrational agenda type of things in her music, but she had this shroud of innocence with the Virgo sun that always hit it. Always, she was real good at singing it. She was real good at dancing and doing all these type of things. Now, when you think about Michael Jackson, because he's a Virgo too, but see, Michael Jackson, he's a Pisces moon, which means that when you take the dancing away, when you take the moonwalk away, when you take the when you take all of that stuff away, and you just listen to the lyrics, you just look at the lyrics that Michael Jackson had in his songs, he was always about dispelling the illusion and togetherness and oneness. He was always about that, you know. Now with Beyonce, you know, her stuff tells a different story, and it's innocent. It's innocent because in Beyonce's case, you know, we can make the argument that, you know, Beyonce, she don't write a lot of her songs. You know, she have a lot of people that write write with her, not for her, but with her. You know, she got a lot of people that write with her. So we could make an innocent argument that the songs that you hear from Beyonce, you know, they're not 100% from her. You know, but see, I'm not the type to give Oya no type of leeway. I'm SU. You know, Oya is my mom. she's my mom in this life, and she's my sister in the spirit world. You know, I know Oya very well, and you know, I fight for Oya. I fight for Oya because I know how powerful she can be if she can transform into 808. You know, that's why I fight for Oya. But I'm always gonna call her out on bullshit. You know, because it's a mutual thing. You know, Oya always be trying to expose something about SU, and then it make her look a certain way because SU is really innocent. You know, it's always a little back and forth between Oya and SU. You know, so we just have this relationship like me and my mom. You know, we have a really close relationship. You know, I don't get in her business. You know, she don't get in my business. You know, we love each other, and I feel like there was a good karma that happened in this timeline because of that. But in the you know other Oyas, no mercy. You know, Beyonce, she always had this message, even in the times where she was her most innocent. You know, she was in her most innocence. You know, and this is where, when she was in her most innocent stage, this is where the beehive, this is where she, you know, she ended up creating the beehive and all of this stuff. You know, see, the Yansa effect is a effect that happens with idolatry. This is where I'm getting at. When you idolize other people other than your higher self, you get the Yansa effect. So I done came up with the J. Cole curse. I done came up with the Aaliyah, the Selena. You know, now I gotta add a new one. This is called the Yansa effect. You know, and this came to me in a meditation, and it goes like this. You know why you can't trust a snake? You know why you can't trust a snake? Even though it is said a Scorpio, if a Scorpio really look at you as a Obatala, she would be more loyal to you than a Leo will. You know, this is the whole thing with Oshun and Oya. A Scorpio, if she really looks at you as a Obatala, she can be a little bit more loyal to you than a Leo. You know, but you still can't trust a Scorpio. You know, not, and when I say this, I mean in a animalistic type of level, in an animalistic survival type of level. You can't trust a snake. The reason why is because a snake can change its skin faster than you can change your mind. Do I need to surf? Do I need to put it in subtitles or something? Do I need to slow it down like Conceited? Do I need to remix it like Hitman Holla? The reason why you can't trust a snake is because a snake can shed its skin and change its skin faster than you can change your mind. You know? We live in a world where, as men, disloyalty is very dangerous. You know, especially when we look at someone, you know, as loyal. You know, when we look at someone as loyal, you know, a lot of times it's kind of like set it and forget it. As soon as you show me that you can be trusted, I no longer, you know, have that antenna up where I'm looking at inconsistencies, you know, because I just trust you, you know. But it's one thing about snakes, you know. A snake has to shed its skin, you know, and when that snake sheds its skin, the coat that's under that skin, the colors might be different, you know. Now you can see this, you know, as a man, and still think that that snake got the same loyalty that it had with that other coat of skin, you know. But no, that skin is out, you know. So a lot of us who aren't SU, you know, it's easy for us to get betrayed by a snake, and it's his nature. It's the snake's nature. You can't be mad at the snake for shedding its skin. That's just how they are. It's nature. It's nature, you know. That's just how they are, you know. But at the end of the day, you know, the baby SU, he knows this better than anybody, because he have to be on alert, because a snake eating a baby ain't nothing. A snake can eat a baby in one gulp. You know, a snake might have a hard time, you know, if you're a grown man and you get, you know, a snake try to attack you, you know, with the right with the right type of you know, with the right type of antidote, and you know, you can get away. If you're a grown man and a snake come at you, what's up, Yvette B and a Cosmic Ray? When a snake come at you and you're a grown man, you know, you can get away. You get some antidote, you know, stick yourself with the antidote. You know, you really got to be caught lacking to be a grown man and a snake be able to eat you up. But a baby don't got no chance. So the baby issue, he really has to be on point. Like me, I was so tapped in with my mom. You know, I'm so tapped in to where when I was a kid, when my mom and dad would get into arguments, it's like I could feel my mom energy. And my mom, she all the way in the kitchen, and I'm all the way in my room supposed to be asleep, and I hear them arguing. I know exactly what point my mom is finna snap. You know, I know at what point my mom finna snap, and it never failed me. You know, that's something that you gotta know. It's something that you gotta know. So I knew, you know, as a kid, I had to learn real fast as a kid how I can get my point across to my mom without bringing her to that level where she gonna snap. You know, it's a science to it, you know. And a lot of men, who don't have that type of instinct, it's easy for y'all to get food. But when we're talking about the Yansa effect, this is how a lot of women got food. This is how a lot of women got food, because y'all had a snake in front of y'all the whole time, and y'all idolized her. You know, yeah, she's singing about Black Power. She's singing about this. She's singing about that. You know, and so when the Renaissance came out, you know, Beyonce has shed her skin. You know, the snake has shed her skin. The Renaissance. This is a new Beyonce. Now she's always kind of because this was a slow shedding. I knew it was over when Beyonce got with Jay-Z. Oh, look at the doggy. It's okay. I knew it was over when Beyonce got with Jay-Z and she started rapping more than singing, and she started cussing in her songs. I'm like, yeah, it's the beginning of the end. You know? Until now we've reached a renaissance you know, where you know she got all of these followers that idolized her, and they can't see the negative. They can't see the negative that's going on. Now me being SU, I can stand on the outside and look in. I'm like, oh, there's just Oya being Oya. You know, I never, was super, I was never like a super Beyonce fan. She had a couple songs I like Shining. I like that song called Shining. I like that song about I'm a survivor. You know, I can't really think of no other songs that I like of Beyonce. But so now we're in 2022, and Beyonce came out with this song about church girl. Now I'm finna bring all of this. I'm gonna make all of this make sense. I'm gonna make all of this make sense because church girl. This is another. This is another play into why you shouldn't trust a snake. And once and in this type of vein, this isn't just talking about Beyonce. This is talking about artists, artists who are extremely famous. This is talking about preachers in church, who are extremely famous, who on TV and all of that. Anybody who has a super big voice and they got all of this fame and all of this fortune, and we know how evil this world is, and they got, and it seems like that, that they're not being touched on a in a certain type of way. It just seemed like it's too good to be true. This is the Yansa effect, and this happens all the time. Now even though this happened, you got some people that's like, yo, like this ain't right, like this ain't it. I'm not really feeling this new Beyonce. But you still got some diehard fans. You still got some diehard people that's just not gonna be able to shake all of those many years of idolizing a celebrity. Because at the end of the day, this is beyond Beyonce. Just like the J. Cole curse is beyond J. Cole. I'm just using these celebrities because they've been put in front of us to play out these roles. Beyonce, she might be a totally different type of person away from the spotlight. But this is the character that she's had to play in front of y'all for 20-something years, over 20-something years. Now, with Church Girl, I know y'all know that the Clark sisters was a extremely the Clark sisters was a very powerful, well-known gospel group. They've been around since my mom and dad were kids. You got Maddie Moss Clark, who passed away. Twinkie Clark, Karen Clark Sheard, Dorinda Clark Cole, Kiki Sheard. The Clark sisters, and they've always held a certain standard. When you think about the Clark sisters, you think about that standard that used to be in the church. When the Clark sisters and all of them was in their prime, there was no such thing as LGBT in the Christian church like that. And if it was kept real hush. We didn't find out until C.L. Franklin was good and gone what he was doing. We didn't find out what James Cleveland was doing until he was well gone. And there's a song that was sampled in Church Girl. And this song was sampled from the Clark sisters. Now, when I read y'all these lyrics of Church Girl, for the ones who never heard it, you don't think to yourself, why was such a dignified, God-fearing, moral uphold, super high morals? You think about saints, pure, pure energy, saints, pure Christians. Who in the world, when you listen to these lyrics, you don't think, who in the world in their camp green lighted for Beyonce to use this iconic song in this, like, what were they thinking? Or is the gospel industry no better than Hollywood when we talk about the demonic things that's going on, in the world? The gospel industry, and this is what my mom had to find out, because my mom, a few years ago when I was in college, my mom was traveling, all over, shopping her music, stuff like that. And it's funny because me and my mom, we were always kind of at odds with each other because I always wanted to be a rapper. I always wanted to be a rapper. I always wanted to be a producer, stuff like that. And, my parents never liked me being a rapper. They never liked me doing that type of music. They called it the devil's music. And I would tell my mom, the same devil that you say is in rap is also in gospel. And we used to argue about that. It wasn't until my mom seen some things, and she didn't even really fully go into detail. I remember she just had to call me on the phone, and she was like, I gotta apologize to you about a lot of things I said because it's in gospel too. That's all she was like. It's in gospel too. Like, dang, like, and it kind of pulled her away from wanting to be a major gospel singer. She started going around and seeing certain things that's not supposed to be right, not supposed to be there, and it started to make her rethink things, and the song is called Church Girl. So let's go over some of these lyrics. And this is how a snake move. When the snake move, a lot of times it don't come out. Unless you're a someone who studies animals, you won't really know how venomous or how dangerous the snake is. It don't seem like it's dangerous unless you're someone who studies animals. You see this fine woman, she got a fat ass, she twerking, she's shaking that booty, she twerking, she looking at you with them eyes, and you telling your friends like, man, oh yeah, hey bruh, she mine. She looking good, she looking good in that skirt, she looking good, and you just don't know what you about to bring home. You just don't know. So the lyrics that start out, I've been up, I've been down. So first it says, I want to be centered. Oh, I want to be centered. I want to be centered. Now, for my producers, when you say I want to be centered, when you say that real fast, it sounds like you're saying I want to be a sinner. I want to be a sinner. Now, you would think I'm reaching again. You probably, when I said that, you probably like, y'all, man, you reaching. But let's keep going. I've been up, I've been down. I feel like I move mountains. I got friends that cry fountains. Oh. So this is already talking about somebody that's been through a lot of trauma. I've been up, I've been down. I feel like I move mountains. I got friends that cry fountains. This is someone that's going through a lot of issues, a lot of trauma. The last thing they need to be doing is going to the club. They need to be doing some shadow work. They need to be getting to know their inner child. They need to be doing some healing. They need to be going to a mama chola to get them some herbs and stuff. And I ain't talking about weed. Like they need some healing. They need to be doing some shadow work. But see, this is what happens when you got that ratchet friend. When Obanani, this is what happened when Obanani got that ratchet sister, you know, that's always sound like she in some drama, but it's thrilling to her because her life is so balanced, and she got that sister that's you know, that's always sound thrilling because she always is some drama. So now I'm warning everybody, as soon as I get in this party, I'm gonna let go of this body. I'm gonna love on me. Nobody can judge me but me. I was born free. You know, this is manipulation. You know, this is manipulation. I'm not gonna let that. I'm gonna let go of my body. I'm not gonna let that slide just because you said I'm gonna love on me. Nobody can judge me, because this is talking about possession at this point. When you say I'm warning everybody, you know, let's change party to ceremony. When I go into this ceremony, you know, when I go into this Ursuli ceremony, I'm gonna let go of my body so Ursuli can enter my body and possess me. You know, that's what happens when you go to a club. You know, like my eyes have opened up in a way to where it's hard for me to look at a lot of shit the same. It's hard for me to look at a lot of stuff the same. You know, I try not to go too far into it, because then, you know, I'm gonna be off balance. I gotta stay in the middle. You know, I'm gonna let go of this body. I'm gonna drop it like a thotty. I'm gonna pop that thotty. Pop it like a thotty. Drop it like a thotty. Church girls acting loose. Bad girls acting snotty. Let it go, girl. Let it go. Let it all out. Twerk that ass. Like, yo, like, I'm reading this and I'm like, yo, are you sure the Clark sisters knew what they was doing? Or did somebody pay somebody a big ass check? Did somebody? Hold on, y'all. I don't think my Okay. So, or did somebody pay somebody a big ass check, you know, to let this ride? You know, y'all let me know if the music is too loud. Let me know in the chat. Let me know in the chat if the music is too loud. So, you can be my daddy if you want to. You can be my daddy if you want to. Like, at this point, you're already possessed. Like, you got a different spirit in you at this point. You know, you can get it tatted if you want to. I ain't trying to hurt nobody. Put your lighters in the sky. Get this mother effer Liddy. She gonna shake that ass. Them tig old bitties. So this is talking about, you know, body idolization. You know, get your racks up, get your math up. I'ma back it up. I see them gray sweats. I see a blank check. So this is you looking at a guy, you know, just for physicality or for money. You know, I am finally on the other side. On the other side of what? You know, I finally found the urge to smile, swimming through the oceans of tears that we cried, You know, I got church in the morning, but you're doing God's work. You're going in, because I ain't trying to hurt nobody. She just trying to do the best she can, happy on her own with her friends without a man. I'm gonna just stop it right there because I got some more stuff to cover. But y'all can see, you know, where this is going, and you can go look at the lyrics yourself. You know, so that's the Yansa effect, because hello doggy. It's a little doggy over here. It's so cute. You know, the baby at you loves doggies. So my inner child comes out when I see a little dog. So damn, I done lost my train of thought. That dog done messed up my train of thought. You know, but the Yansa effect, and this isn't just with celebrities. This is with anything. You know, anything that you used to do, or things that you used to look up to when you were naive. You know, this is the Yansa effect. Different people, places, things, relationships, things that you would use for pleasure. You know, things that you would use for Neptune. You know, for escapism and things like that. And you would use these things, you know, in naivety. You depended on these things. You know, whatever this is, you know, you depended on this to get you through because you was naive and you didn't know about your inner child. You didn't know where your real joy was supposed to lie. So you depended on these people, places, things, pills, weed. You know, we all got something that we depend on when we were in our naivety. You know. Now, depending on how long it took for you to wake up, you might have started to idolize these things. You know, like when I say idolize, I mean that you got certain memories with these things that it's gonna be hard for you to let this go when you find out the truth. That's what idolize is. You know, I'm idolizing Beyonce. I'm idolizing Beyonce because when I was in a relationship, you know, and that man did me wrong. You know, I'm talking as a girl. You know, I idolized Beyonce because when I was in relationships and man did me wrong, for me to get over it, instead of me doing shadow work, instead of me getting to know my inner child and healing, I cut on Beyonce, you know, irreplaceable. Or I cut on Beyonce, what goes around comes back around. You know, I wanted you bad. I'm so through with that. You turned out to be the best thing I never had. And that song, it gives you a feeling. It gives you a feeling, it gives you a comforting feeling. And that comforting feeling can be a band-aid, you know, something to help you get through some real bad trauma that you've been through, you know. Maybe you was in a maybe you seen the guy at the club and, you know, you thought about lose my breath. You know, you thought about let me upgrade you. You know, you listen to these songs to hype you up enough to where you could approach that person. You know, it's we all there's different ways that we you know, idolize, you know, get to that point where we start to idolize different things. But it all starts out very innocent. But just like that snake, see in the Bible it says be wise like a serpent. So yeah, I'm saying all this stuff, but I'm really not talking bad about the serpent. I'm not really talking bad about Oya because she's the goddess of change, and we all need to change. She's the goddess of change. We all got to change. You know, we all are not gonna be who we used to be when we learn certain knowledge. You know, so we all got to change. You know, it's nothing bad. We all got to change. But in this world, it's hard for us to change because that means you got to let go. When you're shedding, you know, when you're a serpent, and you gotta shed that skin, you gotta let go of that skin. You know, you can't, you know, you gotta let go of that skin. You know, so that's where the issue comes in. You know, we see that something is changing, and it's changing in a way where, you know, it's no longer lining up with our life path, but it's hard for us to let go of it because of the memories of the comfort that this person, place, thing, or whatever used to give to us. Yeah, you're right. Spells, and more spells. Exactly. That's what it is. And this is the Yansa effect. You know, the Yansa. See, when you work with Oya in a innocent type of way, and you study Oya, not just work with her, you gotta study her. You know, study Oya, read some of her patakis. You know, meditate. You know, go within and go to the cemetery. You know, work with Oya, and she can really show you the things in your life that you need to change. You know, look at your Scorpio placement in your natal chart, and that's going to really tell you the thing that has to change the most. And look at your Sagittarius placement, and that placement is going to depend on you changing whatever your Scorpio placement in your natal chart. Now that's a little secret that, you know, from Oya to you. This is from Oya to you. I always like to give y'all something to work on when I'm doing these. I always like to give you something to work on. So I'm gonna say it one more time. Wherever Scorpio is in your natal chart, this is the part of you that needs to change the most. You know, and it may be hard for you to let go of certain things, you know, but this is what needs to change the most. Wherever your Sagittarius placement is, you being able to show wisdom in that department is going to heavily depend on you changing the thing that needed to be changed in the Scorpio placement of your natal chart. I hope y'all got that. I hope y'all got that. You know, I always like to give y'all something to work on. You know, I'm not just doing this, you know, for my health. I'm not just doing this just to talk. You know, I want to give y'all things to work on, things to go home and look up your natal chart and you know, figure this stuff out. You know, so with me, I'm gonna use me for example. My third house is in Scorpio, which means that I'm a Gemini. My 10th house is in Gemini, which means that a lot of what people are gonna know me for is the way I communicate. You know, so I have to communicate in a way to where I'm always speaking my truth, but I always leave a little since I know that my third house is in Scorpio, I speak my truth, but I always leave a door open to where if things change and I learn certain knowledge and my mind changes, I can come back and give y'all the updated version without it sounding like doublespeak, without it, you know, sounding like doublespeak or whatever. Now, with me, my 4th house is in Sagittarius. So when it comes to my home life, my private life, my roots, heritage, the way I look at my family, my psychological and subconscious foundation, this house will never be stable if I'm still operating in a outdated mindset. You know, because see, a lot of my shadow work had to do with things that happened in the home. You know, so the more I changed my mind, I shed a lot of old outdated beliefs, because, you know, I went on this journey. You know, I shedded outdated beliefs. You know, I was able to shed different mind states and things like that. You know, Scorpio in the 3rd house. Now I got a more wise outlook on my family. You know, I can't blame my mom and dad for not teaching me certain things because they didn't know it themselves. You know, I've done past life regressions, you know, about my family. So I see like, yo, this is a reoccurring thing, and maybe it's up to me in my life to change some of this stuff. So I can't blame them for certain things. You know, I tell y'all this all the time. I used to hate, not hate, but I used to dislike my last name, especially when I found out what it represented, until I got in this journey. Then I had to, Scorpio in the third house, I had to change the way I thought about my name. I had to empower that name. You know, a lot of psychological subconscious patterns had to change into wisdom because of the way I changed my mindset. So now I'm just showing y'all just with my natal chart. I'm just showing y'all with my natal chart, you know, how you can do this on your own. You know, yes, if you would like to get a reading from me, you can go to my website, www.bandclaptv.com. But I try to give y'all so much stuff in these videos, in these live streams, to where you can just do it yourself and you don't necessarily need me, you know, because that's what it's about. It's not about me just trying to take your money. I mean, you know, I am going through it out here, you know, it's post hurricane. You know, I do appreciate y'all support, you know, but I try to give y'all different things that you can do on your own in your spare time. So let's look at Coolio. His with Coolio, when we look at Coolio, his Scorpio was also in his third house, which means that, you know, at the beginning part of his career, you know, when he was more naive, you know, he believed in a lot of things. He had a lot of ways that he would communicate a lot of different things. And then when he got older and wiser, and he started to really start to see like what's really going on out here, his mind started to change. And then he started to see that the things that he wanted to express with this changed mind, you know, this isn't something that the system of soulless beings wanted out there. You know, because they don't want you to change. They just want you to be on autopilot. You know, Sagittarius was in his fourth house too. You know, he talked about how he would say a lot of things about the way this world is, and you know, he would talk about different secret things that he wasn't supposed to talk about, and he would talk about how his family would get targeted. You know, Coolio, he talked about how his son would get locked up, you know, for dumb shit, you know. So he had to kind of keep things secret so he can protect his family, you know. And when you have that type of monkey on your back, when you have that type of monkey on your back, you know, that's torment. When you know that something isn't right, and you don't, you know, when he was in his heyday, YouTube wasn't around. You know, podcasting and things like that wasn't around when he was in his heyday. So there was really no outlet where he can really, you know, get this stuff out. He just had to keep it in, and whatever house that Scorpio is in, I'm gonna tell y'all something else, because this is the demon part. Wherever your house in Scorpio is on your natal chart, this constantly needs to be cleaned up and changed. Because if you try to hold it in, wherever your Virgo house is at, once that Virgo house starts to get offended, that Scorpio house is going to turn into a demon. You know? So let's talk about, and I talked about that during the Orisha Astrology, when I broke down about Will Smith and Jada Pinkett at the Oscars. You know, the reason why Will Smith did what he did was because Virgo Jada Pinkett activated the demon in Will Smith. And when Eshu is offended, Oya is going to come to the rescue, and she's going to destroy everything around Eshu to protect him. You know, that's what Oya is. She's a very protective mother. You know, she's a very protective mother But sometimes Oya can go overboard in the way she protects. So you don't want to be in her path when she got that destructive mindset and she's trying to protect her baby. She's trying to protect her babies. She turned into Urzuli Danto when she trying to protect her babies. When she feel like her baby is in danger, because no matter what Eshu does, Oya is always gonna look at Eshu as a baby. So when my baby, I'm talking as Oya, when my baby is in trouble, everything got to stop. Everything got to be destroyed. Everything got to stop, because you don't come at my baby. You don't come at my baby. That's how Oya feels about the baby Eshu. And sometimes the baby Eshu got to tell Oya, you're not my mom. I love you. You're my sister, but you're not my mom. I can fight my own battles. But Oya knows how Eshu can get when he has to be put into a position where he got to fight his own battles. He turns into a psychopath. When Eshu has to fight his own battles, he's worse than the Joker. The Joker don't got nothing on Eshu when he got to fight his own battles. That's why I can't be mad at King Von. I can't be mad at what happened with King Von, because he was pushed. He was in an environment where he was pushed to do those things. He didn't just come out the womb wanting to do what he did. He wanted to play baseball. He wanted to do different things, and people was at him and all that, to the point where he had to carry guns to school in elementary school. And that's the reason why, as a kid, my mom kept me from a lot of different things, because she never there was I can't lie, there was some instances where that demon came out and my mom was like, hell no, you gonna stay a baby. she had dreams of what happened if my demon came out. She had visions about it, so she would tell my dad, make sure I don't go certain places, I don't do certain things. Now when I became grown, she couldn't really tell me what to do no more, because I'm grown. But now it's up to me. It's up to me to not put myself in certain positions where the demon got to come out. Because just like what Haitian Bokor Lynette O'Mara said, Eshu and Ogun, they may have their differences at the way they like to solve problems and things like that. But when Eshu is in trouble, if Oya don't know about it, Ogun knows about it. And Ogun is, he's damn near worse than Oya. So that's what it is. Let me see what y'all saying. Wow, this one more off from me. My Scorpio's in the 4th house. Yeah, so with you, since your Scorpio is in the 4th house, I don't know where your Sagittarius is at, but with you always need to be searching for knowledge so you can change what you think about your home, private life, roots, heritage, your family. You might have came up with some real negative, dark things about your family, but the more you do your shadow work, the more you're gonna find out that there was just a lot of things that was misunderstood. See, me, because I chose to live a certain way, 4th house in Sagittarius, I'm always traveling, I'm always on the road. I don't feel at home in one place. Your Scorpio placement is also going to be where you're going to be the most misunderstood. So mentally, I'm very misunderstood. I don't really find people that can truly understand me on a mental level. They just put up with me. I'm very mentally misunderstood. But the thing about Oya, when she's able to focus, she can do powerful things. When I can focus my mind, I can make powerful live streams. I can make animated episodes, animation. You know, I can make music. I can make beautiful music, beautiful mixes. I can do a lot of things when I can focus my mind. You know, but on a different plane, you know, you'll always be misunderstood wherever your Scorpio placement is at. You know, and since the moon is in Scorpio, you know, at the end of the day, you know, it's time for us to become one with the Oya representation in our lives. You know, it's time for us to become one and do that shadow work, because that book of life, that's nothing but you going to the underworld and you going to the library, the Akashic record, and Obanani is showing you all the different lifetimes that you've had, all the alternative realities and stuff like that. That's all what that is. So Obanani, you know, the thing that Oya ended up showing Obanani, even though she had to do it in a fucked up type of way, she showed Obanani that your place in the cemetery, being the librarian over the Akashic records, is just as important as you being Shango's husband or Shango's wife. You know, and at the end of the day, her being in the underworld, being the stewardess over the Akashic records, is actually a lot more important than being Shango's wife, when you really think about it. Because quiet as it's kept, Shango and Obanani in the spirit world, you know, they're still together. You know, Shango is still cool with Oya, Oshun, and Obanani, but they just had to play certain things out in these patakis to teach you about yourself. You know, to teach you about your emotions, your deep emotions, which is Oya, to teach you about your heart, which is Oshun, Queen Yalore, and also to teach you about balance, which is Obanani. You know, so to wrap this up, I want to read to y'all Stevie Wonder version. You know, Stevie Wonder, the Pastime Paradise. You know, I gave y'all a lot of things to look up. You know, I appreciate the donations, whoever sent donations. I appreciate y'all. You know, times is crazy, so any donation helps. But I want to read to y'all what this Pastime Paradise is talking about. So, let's go back. They've been spending most of their lives living in a pastime paradise. They've been wasting most of their time glorifying days long gone behind. You know? See, this is where truth is truth. Everything that I've been saying this whole time, it goes right with these lyrics that Stevie Wonder is talking about in this song. You know, listen to what he said. He said they've been wasting most of their time glorifying days long gone behind. You know? And what are and see now because I'm gonna do it like this. I'm gonna do it like this. Hold on. Give me 1 second. Hold on. Give me a second. I'm trying to do like 3 or 4 things at once. Okay. So Stevie Wonder, he said they've been wasting most of their time glorifying days long gone behind. So this is where Coolio comes in. As I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I take a look at my life and realize there's not much left. Cause I've been blasting and laughing so long that even my mama thinks that my mind is gone. You know? And then Stevie Wonder, he come back. They've been wasting most of their days in remembrance of ignorance, the oldest praise. Tell me who of them will come to be? How many of them are you and me? And remember what Coolio said, tell me why are we so blind to see The ones we hurt are you and me. Like this is the same type of correlation that I did with Aaliyah Rock the Boat and R. Kelly, I Believe I Can Fly. And this is the reason why they had to break that up. You know, same thing. You know, and then Coolio, he come back. I ain't never crossed a man that didn't deserve it. Me be treated like a punk. You know that's unheard of. You know, that's you speaking out of ego. You know, his son is in Leo. Me being treated like a punk, you know, you not being the bigger person. I ain't never crossed a man that didn't deserve it. Me being treated like a punk, that's unheard of. You better watch how you're talking, and you better watch where you're walking, or you and your homies might be lined in chalk. You know, that's what happens when you're associated. You know, a Leo in the 11th house, when you're associated with unintelligent people who don't know how to properly use their 5th house energy, aka Aquarius in the 5th house. All of this lines up. So Stevie Wonder, he says, they've been wasting most of their days in remembrance of ignorance, oldest praise. Have a good night, bro. Tell me who of them will come to be. How many of them are you and me? Dissipation of race relations, consolation, segregation, dispensation, isolation, exploitation, mutilation, you know, mutation, miscreation, confirmation of the evils of this world. Man, Stevie Wonder was woke as hell, man. I love Stevie Wonder. He was always woke, you know. And then listen to what Coolio said. He said, I really hate to trip, but I gotta low. As they croak, I see myself in the pistol smoke. Fool, I'm the kind of G little homies wanna be like. On my knees in the night, saying prayers in the street, like. You know. See, this is a fake reward. You know, I'm the kind of G that little homies want to be like. You know, but they don't know that I'm on my knees every night saying prayers in the street light. You know, they've been spending most of their lives living in the gangster's paradise. You know, look at the situation they got me facing. I can't live a normal life. I was raised in the street, so I gotta be down with the hood team. Too much television watching got me chasing dreams. See, man, Coolio was really woke. He was woke too. You know, he was woke too. He was trying to let y'all know. I'm an educated fool with money on my mind. I got my 10 in my hand and a gleam in my eye. I'm a loped out gangster, set tripping banger. You know, again, this is ego. This don't mean nothing for real. A educated fool. And my homies is so down, so don't arouse my anger. Was your homies really down? Or was they a victim? Was they a victim of, you know, isolation, exploitation, mutilation, miscreation? They've been spending most of their lives living in a future paradise. You know, this is the by and by that we've all been in some kind of way manipulated to believe in, the sweet by and by. I can do all this evil stuff, and then when I die, I'm gonna go to heaven. I gotta suffer in this reality and be a slave, and then when I die, that's when I'm gonna get my heaven. They've been spending most of their lives living in a future paradise. This is Stevie Wonder. They've been looking in their minds for the day that sorrow's lost from time. They keep telling of the day when the savior of love will come to stay. I'm telling you, if Stevie Wonder could see the BS that we were programmed and fed, I don't know what's going on with y'all. You know? And then look at Coolio. Death ain't nothing but a heartbeat away. You know? So that's, you know, again, that's they literally talking to each other. Death ain't nothing but a heartbeat away. I'm living my life, do or die. What can I say? I'm 23 now. Will I live to see 24? The way things going, I don't know. How many rappers have we lost within these past couple of years that's died before they hit 30? You know, I think it was what's his name? What's his name? Juice WRLD. He made a song about the 27 Club. A lot of us don't live to see 21. And look when he died. You know? Power in the money. Money in the power. Minute after minute. Hour after hour. Everybody's running, but half of them ain't looking. It's going on in the kitchen, but I don't know what's cooking. You know? This is the everyday grind. You know, Biggie said it best. I don't wanna live no more. I see death knocking at my front door. Another gun. He said another drug to juggle. Another day, another struggle. You know, this is a mindset that as melanated people, you know, this is the mindset that we've been fed. You know, you ain't nothing but a slave. You gotta grind. You know, money in the power. They say I gotta lean on. They say I gotta lean, but nobody's here to teach me. If they can't understand it, how can they reach me? I guess they can't. I guess they won't. I guess they front. That's why I know my life's out of luck, fool. You know, think about these rappers that y'all idolize. You know, NBA YoungBoy just came out with a song, and this was kind of what he was talking about. You know, all of these people idolizing these celebrities, and y'all just don't realize that behind closed doors, you know, they're crying out for help, but they're in a system to where if they address these grievances, you know, their paradise can be taken away at the drop of a dime. You know, and let's go back to Stevie Wonder. He said, tell me who of them will come to me, or who of them will come to be. How many of them are you and me? Proclamation of race relations, consolation, integration, verification of revelation, acclamation, world salvation, vibration, stimulation, confirmation to the peace of the world. You know, they've been spending most of their lives living in a pastime paradise. Let's start living our lives living for the future paradise. Let's praise our lives living for the future paradise. Shame to anyone's lives living in the pastime paradise. You know? And we all know what the last part of Coolio's song, tell me why are we so blind to see that the ones we hurt are you and me. You know? So at the end of the day, you know, to wrap this all up, right now, let's see if anything changed. Hold on. Hold on. Hold up. So to wrap this up, where is it at? That's weird. It's not showing up here no more. But I'ma just tell y'all, cause I've been on here for too long. I'ma just tell y'all. So, you know, to wrap this up, the sun is now in Libra, in the fifth house. The moon is in Scorpio, on the sixth house. So Scorpio in the sixth house is shadow work. You know, that's what it's about. You know, in order for you to do this shadow work with your inner child, you're gonna have this is gonna make, you know, you need to be a clear-sighted, imaginative, and tolerant character. Ones who a one who knows the complexity of human nature and accepts it with its flaws and qualities. You know, however, one prefers to be alone to ponder over philosophical and scientific concepts. Success can be achieved in philosophy and scientific research. You know, so this is the type of energy that you need to be in right now, so you can use this time, you know, this time to do your shadow work. You know, so you can learn about the inner workings of your fifth house. You know, so you can balance the relationship with you know, let's see what's in the seventh house. So you can balance the relationship with you know, the experiences that's supposed to have gave you wisdom and understanding, aka seventh house in Sagittarius. You know, the ninth house is in Capricorn. So this was a process. You know, Saturn is here in Aquarius. So this was a process that you had to go through with these experiences, you know, so that you can use these experiences as a way for you to balance out you know, your fifth house energy. So you can know, you know, what times that you need to use your creative energy. You know, what times that you need to you know, what, so you can categorize, you know, what is the right recreation, what is the right way of procreation, you know, what is the right pleasures, you know, what are the right you know, romances and things that I should be a part of, so that my experiences that I get from these things can give me a type of wisdom that I can process in an intelligent way. You know, and if y'all can heed that message, y'all will be glad that y'all did. I appreciate all of y'all who came through. I love y'all. Like I say, you know, if y'all want a reading from me, if y'all like this, you know, this that I'm doing, I actually do a Orisha astrology reading. You can go to my page, www.bandclaptv.com. Go to my services tab, and you know, scroll all the way down, and you'll see that reading. You know, if you like this style and you want to learn more about how you can you know, do these things yourself, I got many different you know, you know, things that I've learned over the years that I can share with you to help you with your journey. You know, any support is appreciated. I always have my donation links in the description of my videos, and I also you know, have my donation links you know, at the you know, in the pinned comment above. So, you know, prayers to, you know, all the people in Florida, you know, who don't have a house to go back to. You know, y'all keep me in your prayers while I'm down here on the road. You know, and yeah, like I always say, no matter what, gotta stay shining. I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. Until next time, peace.